Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win, or you find a way to lose. Enjoying them raisins, man. Hey, Canelo's tired of taking risks. I don't blame him. Be honest with you, man. I sat back and I said, what's up with Canelo not really wanting to fight a David Benavidez? You know what I'm saying? What's up with Canelo? Let me move this back a little bit, man. Not really jumping at the opportunity to fight a Morrel. You know, what's really going on with Canelito? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, you know, sometimes you can develop tunnel vision and end up going one direction with your thought process and with your opinions. That's why it's important as a content creator to stop and reset. So I did that. And I said, let me just really understand what we got here with Canelo. So when I look here, right? Now let me show you something. This is Canelo Alvarez, right? Let me show y'all something. I wanna explain to you what I think is going on here with Canelo. Now he has 60 wins. 39 of those wins by KO, 2 losses, right? Canelo stands about 5'8", 70-inch reach, 65% KO ratio, and of course he's from Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. But when you look at Canelo and how he's like, you know what? I'm tired of taking the risk. You guys fight each other. Why do I have to come and fight you? You know what I'm saying? I can do what the hell I want. I earned this. Why aren't you guys going out there putting in the work like I did so you could earn the right to call me out? Because right now, I'm going to tell you, no one's really earned the right to call out Canelo. Even David Benavidez. No one has put the kind of work in like he has. But then again, he's been around for a while. But when you start looking at this, let me scroll down. When you start looking at the names that Canelo's fought, I'm gonna show you something. I ain't worried about it. We know which ones he's won and lost. Okay, let me make this. Let me expand this a little bit for you, right? I'm gonna have to play around with this, and I apologize, but I just want to make sure we're on the same page here. So we know he just fought Jermell Charlo, okay? Like that's no secret. Okay, he just fought Jermell Charlo. We're just gonna go down and look at the opponents he's had, and we're going to stop when we get to a name that we're not familiar with. And we're going to look at the year of when that fight took place. So you got Jermell Charlo, John Ryder, Gennady Golovkin. I think it's safe to say we know those names. Okay? Now, when you start to come down, okay, and then you have Bivol. We know that name, he lost. Caleb Plant, we know that name. Billy Joe Saunders, we know that name. Okay? After Billy Joe Saunders, you have Avni Yildirim, we know that name. Caleb Smith, we know that name. Sergey Kovalev, we know that name. Daniel Jacobs, Rocky Fielding, we know those names. Now we're in 2018. Gennady Golovkin, we know that name. Gennady Golovkin again, we know that name. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., 2017 now, we know that name. Liam Smith, we know that name. Amir Khan, we know that name. Miguel Cotto, we know that name. We're in 2015 now. James Kirkland, we know that name. Erislandy Lara, we know that name. Alfredo Angulo, we know that name. Floyd Mayweather Jr., we know that name. Austin Trout, we know that name. Josecito Lopez, we know that name. Shane, it sounds like I'm rapping, right? Shane Mosley, we know that name. Kermit Centrone, we know that name. Alfonso Gomez, we should know that name. Ryan Rhodes, I think we can stop there. So I say around 2011 is when you kind of can scratch your head and say, who the hell is Ryan Rhodes? But if you go a little bit beyond that, you hit Matthew Hatton, you know Ricky Hatton's brother, Lovemore Endow, Carlos Baldomir, Cuello, and then you have Jose Miguel Cotto, he buzzed him. Brian Camiches, Leonard Tyler. So now you're getting to names that you 2009 to 2010, I'm sure most of y'all don't know. But from really Jose Miguel Cotto, 2010, y'all paying attention? 2010 to where we are today, Miguel Cotto has been putting in work. 13 years of this man taking risks. Now, I understand fighting Floyd, catch weights, hydration clauses, moving up in weight and people feeling like he's cherry picking opponents, but he's fighting champions. Let me tell you something. Say what you want about Canelo. His resume is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Okay? So I can understand how when the cameraman puts that microphone in his face and is pressing him on what he's going to do next, I totally understand his disposition and his overall just perspective on him being the face of boxing and how he worked very hard to get into the position where he's in to make the biggest money and fight who he wants when he wants. And I think some people forget what kind of resume that man has. That man's resume is ridiculous. But people are going to poke holes in it, and I get it. But what I will say is this. When you think about Canelo Alvarez, and think about his resume, and you think about what kind of work he's put in, is it fair for someone like a David Benavidez? I'm going to show you something, right? Let me make this a little bit smaller here. Hold on a second. Let me make this a little smaller for you. Okay, right here. Is it fair for David Benavidez, who only has 28 wins, to go now and fight Canelo? A guy like Benavidez who hasn't put the work in like Canelo did. I can understand Canelo being like, you know what, why would I fight him? He hasn't done anything. As far as 168, David Benavidez is the man. But has he put the kind of work in that Canelo's put in? No, he hasn't. But has he earned the mandatory position he has? And it kind of is what it is. So Canelo's he either has to put up or shut up, right? But I can understand Canelo if he's somewhat frustrated, like, these guys haven't done a tenth of what I've done. Why would I go give him an opportunity? I had to fight a lot of people to get these belts. They're out here getting the 4-for-1 deal. So why would I give him an opportunity? And then when you look at Morrel, who seems to be the other big threat at 168 pounds, 9 fights. Why would Canelo give a guy with 9 fights the opportunity for the 4-for-1 deal? When this guy only has 9 fights, Canelo has 60. Canelo bounced up and down weight divisions. Fought champion after champion after champion. Now he's going to come and get a 4-for-1 deal to Morrel? And when you look at all these guys, none of them have put the work in that Canelo's put in. So I can understand Canelo looking at them saying, man, they could all kiss my ass. And this is why we need to understand how Crawford and Canelo could end up getting made. Because when Canelo looks at it, he gives Benavidez and Morrel credit. But as far as respect, he respects Terence Crawford. Because Crawford has put in a lot of work. And when you look at the names on Crawford's resume, you're going to be familiar with all those names. All those names. Now, boxing fans will say, oh, he fought a bunch of bums, tomato cans. No, he didn't. Okay? So hold your horses. Let's not take it to the stupid. But I think Canelo and Crawford is a fight that could happen before you see Canelo fight Benavidez, or fight Morrel, or fight Munguia. Because Canelo respects what Crawford has done. We understand the disparity in weight, but I truly believe that Canelo, when he sits back and he's thinking about it, and he's having conversations that we aren't privy to, I'm sure that's something that comes up like, why would I give these guys a 4-for-1 deal? Well, they need to hold their horses, stop taking it to the stupid. They're entitled. They feel like they deserve something. And I get it, they've fought this up in the mandatory positions, but if I'm going to give someone an opportunity to knock me off of my throne, I'm going to give it to someone who's put the work in like me. And there's only one person out there. It's Terence Crawford. So Canelo, he's tired of taking risks. because he's taken a lot of risk already. He's earned his spot. But if he's gonna sit there and be knocked off of his throne, he ain't gonna want to give it to somebody who hasn't really earned it. He's gonna want to give it to someone who's earned it, and that's Terence Crawford. And I really have a feeling that fight's gonna happen. It's gonna happen before Benavidez. It's gonna happen before Canelo fights Morrel. You just sit back and watch. And for those of you who are gonna say, "Screw you, head champion," you don't know what you're talking about. I'll say, "Screw you, subscriber. You tell me how I'm wrong." Y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. Give old Canelito from Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. Give that man some respect. Because Canelo put a lot of goddamn work in. Doesn't matter what you and I think of how he got his wins. The bottom line is he got his damn wins. And he's earned his right to scoff at these guys who want to challenge him no matter of their position. Canelo respects guys who put in work. And Crawford's put in work. In the breeze.